Greetings everyone, Randy Swati here from the Nature Conservancy's LANDFIRE team, here to do a brief tutorial or demo on how I combine the LANDFIRE succession class and biophysical settings data sets when I am calculating vegetation departure. I'm currently working in the driftless region that's mostly in southwestern Wisconsin, partly in Iowa, partly in Minnesota, and partly in Illinois, as you can see here. And I want to calculate vegetation departure. To do so, I need to do a few things in ArcGIS first. So first I'm going to show you one of the input data sets we'll need, which is the LANDFIRE biophysical settings data, which represents the dominant vegetation that may have been on the landscape prior to European settlement. I also need information from LANDFIRE's succession class dataset. This dataset represents the structural stages for each biophysical setting, or as you'll note in the legend, where the biophysical settings have been converted to urban or agricultural land uses. This dataset's great, but it does not tell you which succession class occurs in which biophysical setting. It just has the label or the description or a value for each pixel. So I need to combine these two data sets. What I'm going to do is go to Windows, Search, Combine. I've already typed it in, save a few seconds there. And you'll notice that the Combine tool is in the Spatial Analyst toolbox. So you'll need to have that installed and enabled. Then you grab the rasters that you want to combine, which for me will be this BpS raster and the succession class raster that are both in the right projection and have been clipped to the same boundary, all that. They're all in good shape, I think. So got that, and then I say where I want to put the resulting raster and the name of it. I've already done this. I'm cheating today, but I would type in the name there, and that's that. If I hit save and then OK, it would run. It would take maybe a minute to run, but as I mentioned, I've already done that, so I will show you what the resulting raster looks like. Here it is. Isn't that exciting? So within the attribute table, you'll see that for each pixel, we get a value of the succession class, a value for the BpS, and the count of that combination, and then you get a value as well. So I can expand this out so you can see it a little better. So again, in this combined raster, each pixel gets the value from the BpS attribute table, the value from the succession class attribute table, a count of that combination, and a unique value for that combination. I want the rest of the information though, and I'll show you how I do that for this operation. There are other ways to do joins, that is to bring in other data, but I'm going to do it this way because I'm just wanting to be quick, and I will then export the attribute table. I'll hit join. First I'll do the BpS here, and I will select the attributes from the input raster that I used, and within that attribute table I want the value. So I'm going to go ahead and do this and then show you what happens, in case you haven't done this before. Okay, so now based on that value field from the joined, or excuse me, the merged raster and the attribute table from the biophysical settings raster, I now have all that information from the biophysical settings raster joined in. I still need the succession class data. Do a quick join there. Have to be careful because now we have a lot more to select from. Same thing, value. I'll hit OK. open attribute table. I'll scroll over and see that I have biophysical settings information. Keep scrolling in this messy attribute table and see that I also have the succession class information as well. So for now, all I'm going to do is export this data. To do so, I hit export. I will name it. And actually, I'm going to change it to a text file. And you can see I've already done this before. And I named it BpS underscore SCL for succession class, then .csv, so I get a CSV file. Hit save, and boom, that file is created. A couple quick notes about this. This join is not permanent the way I did it. I did it the quick way, but if I were to close out of ArcMap or remove this data set from my project, these joined attributes would disappear. So there are other ways to do joins if you want to make them permanent, or you can export this data set if you want. I don't need to do that now, so I won't, but I'll just quick show you. If you think you might want to do that, you would go data, export data, and walk through that dialog box. So for now, that's it. That's all the work I need to do in ArcMap for this portion of calculating vegetation departure. So hope it worked well for you too.